If you're drawn to quiet tension, restrained desire, and the kind of romance that unfolds in silences instead of declarations, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is the story of the night I let him stay, and the weeks he spent proving he deserved more. I don't remember agreeing to let him stay. I remember the rain, the way it soaked through his jacket and darkened the fabric until it clung to his shoulders. I remember the sound of it hitting the stairs outside my apartment, relentless and patient. And I remember the pause before I opened the door, long enough that I could have changed my mind. He stood there without urgency, without pleading. Tall, white, dark hair damp, eyes steady and unreadable. "I don't need much," he said. "Just a room. One night. That was all. No story. No excuse wrapped in charm." I should have said no. Instead, I stepped aside. "The couch," I told him. "That's all." He nodded once. "Thank you." He didn't try to shake my hand, didn't ask my name. He walked in like someone who knew how to take up space without claiming it. That should have warned me. I gave him clean towels and pointed him toward the bathroom. He moved through my apartment like he was careful not to disturb the air, pausing to take in exits, corners, windows. "Military?" I asked before I could stop myself. He glanced back at me. "Something like that." When he came out, hair still damp, sleeves rolled up, he looked less like a stranger and more like a problem I'd invited inside. "You can lock your door," he said, noticing the hesitation in my stance. "I won't take offense." "I wasn't worried," I lied. He didn't call me out. He lay down on the couch fully clothed, hands folded over his chest, eyes closing like he trusted the night not to betray him. I didn't sleep. The morning light changes everything. He's already awake when I step into the kitchen, making coffee with quiet precision, like he's memorized the space overnight. "I can leave," he says without turning around. "If you want." I didn't say that. "No," he agrees. "But you're thinking it." I pour myself a cup and lean against the counter. "What's your name?" "Evan." It sounds practiced. Not false, just controlled. "You?" he asks. "Claire." He repeats it once softly, like he's testing how it feels in his mouth. "I'll be gone by tonight," he says. I nod. He doesn't leave. One night becomes 2, then 3. Evan fixes the loose cabinet hinge without being asked, carries groceries without comment, sleeps on the couch even when I tell him the spare room is empty. "I don't want to get comfortable," he says. That sounds backwards. Comfort makes people careless. There's something in his voice then, experience, not paranoia. I stop asking questions after that. The tension creeps in quietly. It's in the way his eyes linger too long when I cross the room barefoot. The way his jaw tightens when someone laughs too close to me on the phone. The way he always waits for me to sit before he does, like positioning himself in relation to me matters. One evening, I catch him watching me from the doorway. "Do you need something?" I ask. "No," he says. "I was making sure you were still here." The words land heavier than they should. "I'm not going anywhere." His gaze sharpens. People always say that. I learn his habits before I learn his past. He wakes early, sleeps lightly, keeps his phone face down and silent. He never drinks more than 1 glass of anything. He listens more than he speaks. When I finally ask why he needed a place to stay, he doesn't dodge the question. "I walked away from something," he says, "and it didn't like being left." That's vague. That's intentional. I let it go. Trust, I've learned, isn't built by force. The shift happens on a quiet night. The power goes out without warning, plunging the apartment into darkness. I gasp before I can stop myself. Evan is beside me instantly. "Hey," he murmurs. "It's okay." His hand rests on my arm, warm, grounding, careful. He doesn't move it. Neither do I. We stand there in the dark, close enough that I can feel his breath, steady and controlled, like he's anchoring both of us. "You don't scare easily," he says. "People mistake calm for fearlessness." "Do they mistake it with you?" "No," I reply. "They underestimate it." Something about that makes him smile. Not wide, not soft, but real. After that night, the restraint becomes deliberate. He never touches without permission. But the space between us shortens. His presence feels intentional, protective without being smothering. One evening as I wash dishes, he steps in behind me to grab a towel. His chest brushes my back. The contact is brief, accidental. Still my breath catches. He notices. "I can leave," he says quietly. "Don't," I reply before I think. He stays where he is. That's the first line we cross together. I start noticing things. The way he watches doors instead of people. The scar along his ribcage when his shirt rides up. The way his voice softens when he says my name, like he's careful not to bruise it. "You don't let people close," I tell him one night. He meets my gaze. "Neither do you." "That's different." "Is it?" I don't answer. The night he finally moves into the spare room feels heavier than a confession. "I don't want to take advantage of your kindness," he says. "You haven't." "That's because I'm trying not to." The honesty knocks the breath from my lungs. "Trying not to what?" I ask. "Want more." Silence stretches between us. "And if I wanted that too?" I whisper. His eyes darken, intensity simmering just beneath the surface. "Then I'd still wait," he says. "Until you trusted me." Something in my chest aches at that. The past catches up quietly. A man waits outside my building one evening, eyes lingering too long. Evan notices before I do. He positions himself between us without touching me, presence unmistakable. The man leaves. "You don't owe me protection," I say later. "I know," Evan replies. "I choose it." The word choice echoes between us. The night everything changes is unremarkable. No danger. No chase. Just rain tapping against the windows and the two of us sitting too close on the couch. "You could leave," I say. "Anytime." "So could you," he replies. "But you're still here." "So are you." I turn to him then really look at him. Not as a guest, not as a stranger, but as the man who's been waiting without demanding. "You can stay," I say. "But not as someone passing through." His breath stutters. "And what would I be?" he asks. "Someone who belongs here," I reply. "If you want to." He reaches out slowly, stopping inches from my face, giving me time to pull away. I don't. His hand cups my cheek, gentle and reverent, like the moment means more than desire. "I don't take what isn't freely given," he says. "I know." He rests his forehead against mine. "I waited," he murmurs, "because trust matters more than hunger." The words undo me. I don't know what the future looks like with a man like Evan. I only know this. He never pushed, never claimed, never demanded. He waited. And when I finally gave him more than a room, I gave him my trust. Trust doesn't arrive like a switch flipping. It arrives like a habit. Evan becomes part of my mornings before I realize it. He's already awake when I step into the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, quiet music playing low from his phone. He never asks what I want for breakfast, just sets a mug in front of me the way I like it, strong, a little bitter, no sugar. "You're assuming things," I tell him once. He glances at me over the rim of his cup. "You haven't corrected me yet." I don't. There's an ease to him now, but it's a careful one. Like he's learned the shape of my boundaries and walks them with intention. He never goes into my room without asking. Never opens mail that isn't his. Never touches unless I close the distance first. And still I feel him everywhere. In the way he watches the door when we're out together. In the way his hand hovers at my back in crowded places, not touching but ready. In the way his attention sharpens when someone looks at me too long. "You don't have to do that," I say one evening, noticing his posture shift as a man brushes past me on the sidewalk. "I know," Evan replies. "I want to." That distinction matters more than he realizes. I learn the truth in pieces. Not confessions. Observations. A name he avoids. A city he won't talk about. A scar I notice tracing his shoulder when his shirt slips one night. Old and clean and deliberate. "You don't ask," he says quietly when he catches me looking. "You don't offer." That's fair. We sit with that understanding for a long time. Then one night, without prompting, he speaks. "I didn't leave because I wanted something else," he says. "I left because I didn't like what staying was turning me into." I don't interrupt. "They taught me efficiency," he continues. "Control. Detachment. It works. Until you forget how to turn it off. And you did? I ask. He nods. I forgot. The honesty sits heavy between us. And now? I whisper. His gaze lifts to mine. Now I'm remembering. The shift from waiting to choosing is subtle. It happens the night I come home late, rain-soaked and exhausted, to find him asleep on the couch with the light still on, one arm draped over his eyes, shoes kicked off carelessly, something he never does. For the first time, he looks unguarded. I stand there longer than necessary, watching the rise and fall of his chest, the way his jaw softens when he sleeps. When he wakes and finds me there, he startles. I didn't mean to worry you, I say quickly. You didn't, he replies, sitting up. I just don't like not knowing where you are. The words could sound possessive. Instead, they sound honest. I sit beside him, close enough that our shoulders touch. I don't want to feel like I owe you, I say quietly. You don't, he says immediately. That's not what this is. Then what is it? He turns toward me, fully eyes steady, voice low. This is me staying because I want to, he says. And hoping you're doing the same. I am. The first rail test comes without drama. No danger. No confrontation. Just a choice. An offer comes through my work, relocation, advancement, a clean break from the small orbit we've built together. It's everything I told myself I wanted before Evan ever knocked on my door. I stare at the email for a long time. When I tell him, he doesn't react the way I expect. No tension. No tightening of his jaw. That's good, he says. You should consider it. You're not upset? Why would I be? He asks. You don't belong to me. The words land softly. But you belong here, he adds. If that's what you choose. I search his face for pressure. I find none. That's when I understand the difference between wanting someone to stay and needing them to. I don't accept the offer. Not because of him. Because I finally understand what staying feels like when it's my choice. When I tell him, his breath stutters like he didn't expect hope to hit that hard. You're sure? He asks. Yes. Why? I step closer, close enough that the air shifts between us. Because you waited, I say. And I don't want to build something with someone who wouldn't. His hand lifts, stopping inches from my waist, eyes asking before his mouth ever could. I nod. The touch is slow, careful, reverent, like he understands exactly what he's been given. There's no grand declaration, no promise carved into stone, just a quiet understanding that grows roots. He still gives me space. I still choose him daily. And some nights, when the apartment is quiet and the rain returns, he rests his forehead against mine and breathes like he's finally home. I didn't come here for this, he admits once. I know. But I'd do it again, he says. So would I. I gave him a room. Not my trust. Not my heart. He waited anyway. And when I finally opened the door fully, he didn't rush in. He stepped through. And stayed.